What is up, everybody? Scorch the Fears, episode 105, with the great Andy Rong. Now, Andy is an absolute beast in and of himself. 17 years old, absolutely crushing it, making more than his parents, I guarantee that. Making more than probably 70 to 75% of people on this call. Probably making more money than me, right? An absolute beast, a tech wizard, a good friend, the owner of the famous AstroBlaster. And yeah, I'm just excited to have you on, my man. Welcome to the podcast.
First off, really sick intro to the podcast. It's like super dramatic, and awesome. Really brings the energy. But thank you for that intro. I'm actually 18 now. I turned 18
Crazy.
last year, August. So yeah, like I guess like fourth, 18th now.
I love it. Amazing. Good
Yeah,
job.
yes,
Well, my
sir.
man, introduce yourself to my audience. I think most of them know you. You're really well known in Astro. I don't know how well Sub 2 knows you yet.
Oh
I
no.
don't know how
Yeah.
well TTP knows you. And I try to bring people from all three communities. Also, there's just people from my Instagram. Guys, if you're on Instagram, come on to YouTube if you're actually trying to comment and like have me interact. Like I can bring up Luke's comments. I can't bring up the comments on Instagram. Usually I do it on my phone, but StreamYard's got it. So come on to YouTube if you want to actually interact with me and Andy. But Andy, real quick, just give a quick background, not like your story, just like a background of like what you've done, what you do in real estate, just for the audience that doesn't know you.
So for those who don't know me, this is not trust fund money. This is not daddy's money. This is not whatever is in your mind right now. It was just hard work. Lots of hard work. I started as a buster, as kind of a cashier type of role when I was 7 years old, and then kind of worked my ass off until like it was like $10. It was damn near child labor. I was, if you've seen like I'm
Everything,
pretty sure you've seen it.
any job you've had
Yeah.
before 18, before August, was technically child labor.
Yeah,
Just throwing it
actually,
out there.
yeah. Yeah, I was paid like $10 a day working like from 9 to midnight. I mean, it was pretty wild. Uh, but you've probably seen that video on Instagram, that one kid that's like doing like answering a call and then making orders and doing all these things. Like I was like that kid. Um, and I learned about a lot about people skills and like about communication, about that, all that, and dealing with customers and all that. And it was really important to my, I guess, to my success now, because I feel like the hard work I've learned from there has really attributed to I guess the discipline I have today. Um, but 15, I started to really get into entrepreneurship. I'm not going to tell a whole life story, but I got into real estate because of King Kong. That you know, let's go make this money guy. And I still have the first video I
Great
ever
guy.
saved on my phone, and it was probably 2019, right before or right during COVID. I saw a video of him, and I mean, I was broke. I was playing Call of Duty all day. Like crazy thing was, like I set up a tent outside my house, and I like took a 50-foot long Ethernet cable and I routed it to a tent because my mom would like scold me because I was playing games all night. So I'd be like, okay, how do I like not let her know I'm playing games, but also playing games? So like I would set up a tent. It was cold, so it was like chill. I'd set up an inflatable bed, and like I had a whole setup. It was wild. Ethernet
Solving
cable
problems since he
and
was
all that.
15, guys.
I mean, dude, I was solving the wrong problems. I was I was I was solving the wrong problems. Um, but
Creative though.
I was a bad kid.
So tell them a
And
little bit about, so like you did wholesaling. I don't know if you still have I don't think you still have a wholesaling company,
yeah.
but then your main company is AstroBlaster. Talk about, just real quick, um talk about your main company is AstroBlaster. Like, is that like that there's are you still wholesaling at all? Like right now, or are you just fully focusing on AstroBlaster?
Um, yeah, AstroBlaster is really my main focus right now. I had to make a decision like earlier last year, probably same time this time, 1 year ago,
Yeah.
either to go all in on, 'cause, like, I really most of you heard of Alex Ramosi. and he preaches about like singular focus and like only focusing on one thing and like one thing at a time. And that like really hit me because I was like, okay, well, if your attention split into 50-50, then that's what the results are going to be. So I was like, okay, well, what has a bigger opportunity? My wholesale company and like keeping the secrets and systems to myself, or like sharing it to people and like building a brand that way. Um, Short term, the wholesale company probably would have made more, maybe. Uh, I would have probably expanded to a lot more different markets, but the money wasn't the aspect I was looking at as well. As like the relationship with Jamil was, I mean, that was probably the highlight of my year, was just being in a partnership with them. Um,
So, what is AstroBlaster? Because this is your call to fame. This is why this is like one of the cool. This is the coolest thing. Uh, one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So, talk about what AstroBlaster is. Talk about like what. Talk about what it is, just real quick.
Yeah, so we are a real estate marketing platform, and we automate a lot of the I guess the heavy busy work that's involved with real estate. On average, it takes around 18 to 13 touches to actually sprout a deal from an agent, and if you have over 100 agents, that's very hard to manage. 8 to 13 follow-ups. So as a senior in high school wanting to do real estate, it was very hard to do all that. So I had to create something that would benefit me, but at the same time, after creating it, I realized it was actually a system that a lot of people had benefit from, which was awesome. Because I mean, like my intentions weren't to like sell it or whatever. It was like because I mean, I wanted to do deals in high school, so I didn't want to go to college. So I didn't go to college.
I love it. Yeah, guys, it's an agent outreach CRM platform. It's awesome. Luke literally here, he's saying he got his first deal from it. He's watching right now. Like, so it's an amazing platform and it's awesome like what you created. I've heard so many good things about it. And it's cool because like not everyone gets the opportunity to partner with someone like Jamil Damji. He is a high level person. It is so cool you got the chance to partner up with him. At what age were you when you partnered with him? 17, 16?
I was 17. I don't think you're even legally allowed to sign contracts at 17.
Who was signing the contracts? Who was
It
signing
was
the LLC contracts?
I was technically my mom. So
So was your
I was
mom technically the partner?
so because like my
Like, how
LLC
does
would be
that work? I'm just kind of
but
curious.
the authorized signer would be my mom, but the LLC would be owned by me. So you can actually own an LLC by you, like if you're under 18, but you can't be an authorized signer on stuff.
But anyways, guys, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about somebody who, god damn, dude. Like I think back what I was thinking about at 15. I don't even remember what I was thinking about. I literally thought I was only thinking about a Call of Duty. Um,
It was fun, dude. I mean, Call of
it's
Duty. I'd play
crazy.
right now. It's fun.
I don't know. I'm curious. This is just a question coming to me right now. I know
Yeah.
I said I'd start with a different question, but this question is coming to me right now.
Yeah.
What do you realize how rare it is that a 15 or 16-year-old starts a business? Then how rare it is that it actually becomes successful. And then how rare it is that you actually make a freak ton of money. Like I'm curious if do you think about that? Or are you just like, I'm living my life?
Um, I mean, like, uh, I guess like I would say luck was involved for sure. Um,
Yes, luck is involved.
hundred-
But obviously luck is involved.
yeah.
But I do want to honor you in the sense that that's freaking insane. That is like, I'm going to look it up real quick. What is the top 1% of income earners?
It's
Under
400 in
18.
the US. Okay, that I mean,
What is it? I want to know. Do
probably,
you know the answer to this?
I don't even know. I don't even think there's a metric on that. I don't think they track that.
They don't even track that. Yeah, they got 27 to 31. What is the top? I want to know.
Because like I
20
don't
to
think
24 is $64,000 a year, right?
yeah,
So I already know for 16-year-olds, it's probably like
like 1,000,
Probably
2,000.
probably I feel like it should be zero because you guys aren't supposed to be able to work. It's like literally only like I don't even understand how people are making like 40K or 20K.
Yeah,
Anywho, dude,
even
I just
making
want you to
40K at 16, it's like pretty
obviously
solid.
there's luck involved and it's good to
Yeah.
keep yourself humble, but also realize that that is something special. You've got how much time you've got ahead of me even, let alone somebody like Pace and Jamil. It's going to be an exponential return if you keep at this stuff. So anyways, bro, I just want you to know like how crazy your life will be by the time you're 50 or 60. Like just by that time horizon,
Yeah.
the compounding of knowledge and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I just want you to know that if you haven't thought about it.
Um, I sometimes think about that, like, when I'm, like, 25, who's that person gonna be? Um, I don't really know. I don't I mean, I learn a lot every day, um, and I continue to learn a bunch. I don't go to college right now, and, it's actually crazy that I even said that because, I really never I've like, when I was in high school, like, I was like, "Ah, I'm not gonna go to college or whatever."
Mhm.
But, like, now it's, like, reality now. Like, I literally don't go to college, and, like, I literally, um I'm actually not in college, and I'm, like, in real life now. And a lot of my friends, uh, are are in college right now, and I see their life literally deteriorating. Like, I literally see their life deteriorating. Like, they're partying super hard. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with partying. Like, if you work hard, you can party hard, okay? Like, don't like, there's seasons for whatever, but, these guys are, like, every single day, they're hungover. It's, like, crazy. Like, how do you even do that? Um, and, I just see their life deteriorate,
Yeah,
because
man.
college is an environment is that it kinda, like, encourages that type of stuff. It's like, "Hey,
No, of course. I was an alcoholic in college. I
yeah,
was your friends in college, basically,
yeah,
right? I didn't even know. I mean, the thing is, entrepreneurship didn't even introduce my mind when I was your age. There wasn't any TikToks. There weren't any. There was Instagram, but there weren't Instagram reels. There was no reels section. There were just
yeah,
posts that people would make, right? So it's something that I'm seeing. I mean, Tyler, my business partner, is similar to you. He's older than you, but he's similar to you in the sense that
he's young, dude. He's still
he's
young.
young. He's 20.
Yeah,
He's 22. But you're 18, so you're even younger. You're 4 years younger than him. Um, how did you find out about wholesaling real estate? I'm not. I'm
yeah.
just gonna guess. It was TikTok, right? Well, you said
Yeah,
that. You said it was
it was like, Instagram, TikTok, yeah, I was just scrolling and
like
then
my
saw
like this didn't exist when I was your age.
yeah,
There wasn't Ubers when I was 18. Uber came
yeah,
out when I was 18, right? That's when Ubers started becoming a thing. To give you perspective, like there weren't reels of people doing business. There might have been YouTube videos, but like you'd have to search business shit, right? So, anyways, it's a perfect storm where like
yeah,
your generation is going to see the most entrepreneurs ever. You're
yeah.
Gen Z, right?
I don't even know. Like, I don't
Your
follow enough.
generation, whatever you want to call it, is going to see the most entrepreneurs ever thanks to TikTok, social media, all of this cool
Yeah.
stuff.
It could
So,
also be, I would say, I don't know. I mean, it's a negative and a positive. It's like TikTok can either like like, could you name me the past 60 shorts you watched? Like, even
no
like
idea.
recall a single one?
Zero idea.
Um, so yeah, it's like 100,000 people could watch like King Kong shorts, but 100,000 people won't start a business. Like, they'll just be, ah,
Of
whatever.
course.
I'll save this in my camera roll and all that stuff. So I guess it's I guess information is spread faster, but it's all dependent on the person that receives it and what they do with it. Um,
Yeah, man. Well, anywho, so enough of propping you up just for the moment.
let's
I want to get into the real shit too. I want to get
get
into
into it.
because I'm so curious what your mindset was like. Because obviously, you were so young. You were fit. You were when did you join Ash? Tell me. Let's go into the story before I go into the questions because I want to.
Yeah,
I actually don't 100% know your story.
yeah.
So you find out about real estate from King Kong. Then what?
Did it for like a month, and then I saw Jamil's like blue. This is when he was doing the blue genie ads,
Blue Genie.
and like I had to click. I mean, it's freaking Jamil
It was
in
hilarious.
blue paint. So I was like, okay, I had to click on this. I got on a call with like one of their guys, and keep in mind I was like 15 at the time, and I was interested in wholesale, but I didn't have any money. I probably had 1,000 to my name at the time. Um, so thank God they had like a payment plan, and I did that. So I did like 3 months of that. I got nowhere. I tried their course. It was great. It was just like it was me that was the problem. It wasn't like the information. It was me. It wasn't like the course information. I didn't utilize the community at all. Like I was just like whatever. And then like there was the Q&A calls with Jamil I didn't utilize. I think that was like the most crucial piece. Um, but then like later that year, August, I found out my grandpa had this vacant home. That
So wait, hold on, because those. Sorry, wait. Before we go into that, sorry.
Yeah.
Payment plan, isn't it like 1,000 a month?
It was like 1,600 a month.
Okay,
And
but you
the
said you just
only
had $1,000.
yeah yeah
So did
so
you have a
so
credit card at 16?
oh no, I didn't have like any really debit card, so I had to pay my mom and use her card to pay for it. So what I
You
did
have such
was
a good mom.
yeah, no, she I mean, I think she did it because she just wanted to keep me busy. Like, I mean, she saw I was 15, like, "Yeah, whatever, he's learning stuff."
Keep
Um,
going. I'm gonna ask about that, but I'm gonna be
so,
curious about that. So keep going.
um, I worked at the restaurant every single day, and I was just cashier and just studying
Your
at
restaurant is your
there.
parents' restaurant?
Yeah, parents' restaurant. They were in, like, a Chinese restaurant, and, I was just, like,
Uh-huh.
a cashier or busser or whatever, and, I'd probably make, like, give or take, like, 120 a day, maybe.
Okay.
Like, maybe, like, on a good day. 120 a day, Monday to Friday. Actually, no, it'd be, like, Saturday, Sunday because I had school, and I'd try to work a half day after school. Um, so I just made barely enough. I probably did have to like, had to loan some money from my mom,
I got you.
um, to be like, "Okay," well, like, because it was hard time because I didn't have any results to show her like, "Hey, this actually works."
No, I got you. What do you feel like made your mom willing to do that? Because a lot of moms and dads would be like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You're
Yeah,
16? No, I'm not gonna pay $8,000 or whatever it costs for
yeah,
you to join some weirdo
yeah,
blue genie real estate course you
yeah.
found on TikTok," right? That's how most moms react. So just real quick, what do you feel like made the difference? I know you said to keep you busy, but that's a lot of money to keep you busy, right?
Yeah, it was
What do you feel like it was other than just that?
honestly, dude, I don't know. My mom just, like if I'm, like if I'm not doing drugs or if I'm not, like, going and doing stupid stuff, then that's a win for her. It's like, if I'm
Hmm.
occupied with something else, like, that's, like, I don't know, in some way benefiting me, then she'll be like, "Yeah, I would agree with it." Like, I'm I'm fine.
You should ask her just for your own
Yeah,
sake, for your own knowledge.
I'm
Be
curious
like,
about it.
"Mom,
That's kinda my
mom, why did you let me do that?" That'll be that you'll get a really interesting answer. You'll learn more about your parents that way.
yeah,
Um, cool. I really like it. So you put mom's being the best mom fucking ever. You get into Astro. You don't utilize it. Um, why do you feel like you didn't utilize it? Too busy with school or other
no, not at
things?
all. Like, school was really never I mean, it was an obstacle, but it was never like I couldn't do that. It was, it was just my ignorance. It was my ego. I couldn't, I couldn't be like, "Man, maybe I just suck. Maybe I don't know everything about real estate, and maybe I just should just, like, ask stupid questions." Like, what I thought at the time were stupid questions.
Like
Um,
you were embarrassed to ask the questions, or you
I
felt
was
like you already knew the answers?
I felt like I knew the answers already.
Gotcha.
Like, it's like, I don't know. I was just me
So
at the time, and, like,
what changed?
um, so I built, like, a little network when I was, like, in that 3-month phase, and then, like, I stopped. I couldn't make payments. I literally couldn't afford to make payments. And then August came around. My grandpa had a vacant home, and then we ended up selling it to a hedge fund. it was gonna be open door, but then we ended up selling to like some Amherst,
Hmm.
because of like my previous connections in when I was doing real estate. So that got me a little bit of money, like maybe like eight grand or so, or no, 4 grand.
Oh, nice. You wholesaled
Yeah,
it? They
so
let
like
you wholesale it?
4.5 grand. I don't think they really understood. I mean, it was like a 16-year-old wholesaling, like take like in a real estate transaction. Actually, I didn't have a bank account at the time, so I had to go to my mom, and then she paid me cash, which is probably not the best way to do it. But
Huh.
yeah, so that happened, and then I just paid off the Astro flipping course, so I was now like debt free, I guess, debt free, and
Nice.
so I was like, let's just start from square one. Let's go back to week one, day one. And then I just went back through the mindset stuff, and like I really like broke myself down. And I was like, okay, well, like I have a lot of fucked up things about me. Um, and I have to change. Like this was the reason why I wasn't getting the results, because my I don't want to say it's like mindset. My mindset was I want to say I want to say like perspective. My perspective on, I guess, the world and everything I saw was fucked up. And week one was all about mindset, of course,
What was your
and the
perspective?
foundational truths.
How
It
did
was
you
just
view the
like
world?
I viewed it as like I knew everything. I thought I knew everything, and that I thought like um
I'll throw it out there, just FYI. Every 16-year-old guy thinks they know everything.
yeah,
Literally all of them. I just want you to know
yeah,
that's a very common thing. I thought I knew everything. Everyone who's watching this, if you were a 16-year-old man, you thought you knew everything. That is like
yeah,
the typical thing. So I want you to know, first off, yes, it's wrong, but also not very
yeah.
uncommon. So
It was
you're
like
not
fun.
alone in that.
Um, and I was like, well, that mindset didn't really get me that far. So I was like, well, how are people winning and I'm not? And like, if I assume I'm right all the time, how am I not winning? Well, it's because I assume I'm right all the time. So I broke myself down, and I was like, okay, let's reset. So week one, day one, and then I just completely just redid everything. Like completely shifted my frame on how I thought of things. Like I went in with open mind. I was like, okay, I'm gonna join these calls with Jamil every single week. I'm gonna focus on one strategy. I'm gonna go hard at that strategy for 90 days at least before I think about something else. Because the first 3 months I was in real estate, I was doing direct to seller. I was doing fucking driving for dollars. I was doing direct to agent, Facebook groups. I was a dispo wholesaler in every single state in the US. I think everyone thinks that like, okay, more markets, the more money. Like I
Right.
promise you that's not how it works. Um, so uh, that was me back then. But so funny thing about
I
nationwide
love it.
wholesaler. Uh,
So I've got another question for you. So, okay, we do that. We go into um astro flipping. Now I at least know how you became a wholesaler,
yeah,
right? And then I want to also I want to also reverse a little bit just because I wanted to know that little bit of background, but I want to reverse a little bit and ask you the question I told you I'd ask you at the beginning, which I haven't asked yet, which is this. When you were starting off learning about real estate, you just took that loan from your mom on that credit card. Were you dealing with any fears? Were you just like a cocky 16-year-old being like, "Nah, I got this. Like, fuck it, right? I'm not gonna have any fears, right?" Um, and A, what were the fears? And B, if there were no fears, did fears ever come up along in the journey? Because I could actually see myself at 16 being like, "Nah, I fucking got this. Like, I
yeah,
have no fears, bro. I'm gonna fucking crush this."
yeah. I think everyone would say they have no fears, but deep down, I think fear drives. Like fear is the driver for I think a lot of stuff. Like now, like we fear poverty. Like right now, like we fear the idea of poverty. Like that's why we work. That's why we do what we do. Like we fear all this stuff. So I think fear is good. But back then, I was I feared to be dishonored, to make my parents feel like I dishonored them. Um,
Hmm.
and more specifically myself. Like I felt like because like you probably heard of this, but like prove them wrong. was my mantra that I've kind of always been repeating to myself. And back then, my dad really didn't believe me. He was like, "Internet money's bullshit. Like, you can't make money online. You have to go work, and you have to go to college, and you have to do all these things." And it's like, you can't hate them because that's how they were raised and that's how they're taught, and you're indoctrinated in that. So you can't really change that. So I had to prove them wrong. I had to show them that, hey, this is actually possible. But like, I didn't have anything to show at that time. Like, I could say all these things and like be like, yeah, you can make all this money, but my bank account didn't show that. So I was at this dark place where I was like, I know I'm right, but I don't have anything to show. And it was like that, that feeling of like I have to do this to prove you guys wrong, to show it's possible. My fear, it was just my fear of failing. It was like I would look so stupid if I did all this. If I said I wasn't gonna go to college, I said I was gonna make this money, or I said I was gonna do all this and then not do it. That
I
like
really like that.
yeah,
I really like that because we're talking about something. This is something that I don't think enough people talk about, to be honest, is it is okay to use negative feelings to motivate you.
100%,
I
dude.
think people constantly think it's supposed to be positivity. You need both. You need darkness and the light, right? Like there are definitely darker motivations that push me forward into wanting to create a wholesaling empire, right? These things like what you're talking about with like I want to prove everybody wrong. You're all laughing at me or think I'm
Yeah,
fucking crazy.
yeah,
Screw you guys. I'm going to make a ton of money. I'm going to show you who the hell I am, right? This is something that we can use as humans in order to motivate us to get us to the next level. It is not always a bad thing to use negativity. Now, if you start expressing the negativity outwards as poison, as toxicity, that's a problem. But if you use it to just motivate yourself, that can be some of the greatest motivations ever. Honestly, I've done now 105 podcasts with talking to people about their fears. The people that are successful still have fears, but they put them behind them instead of in front of them. So unsuccessful people, what they do is they're afraid of something, so they stop because it's in
yeah,
front of them. While successful people put their fears behind them, so they're running away from something.
yeah,
Right? That's
yeah,
how I think about this negativity, and I think you're just talking about that
yeah.
in what you
I
were dealing with at the
I
beginning.
I mean, I would say I was a very insecure person. Insecure about my physical health, my financial stuff, and everything about that. I was just insecure. But also insecure. Being secure drives comfort. Being insecure drives discomfort. Which discomfort, you're not comfortable in discomfort, so you want to get out of discomfort. So I think being insecure is awesome. I think being insecure. I won't say it's awesome. I would say, let me rephrase this. I think insecurity is okay. Being insecure is okay. I think it's the driver to be better, to want more, whether it's materialistic things or just want more in life in general. Is like I think a lot of people like they stress too much about being secure, being secure, being secure. Um, that means you're content with your life right now. And like some people will argue with me, like, okay, well, if you're not content with your life, then you're not happy. Well, no, like I love to do this. Like to them it looks like work and looks like, oh, this is ridiculous. You work 10 hours a day. You like this is suffering. But this is my life and this is what I love to do. And this is why I can do it for so long is because I love doing it. It's not like a chore. It's not like my mom is asking me to go take out the laundry. It's like I I don't like doing that. I love doing this though. I love working from 7 to 7. I love doing this. I love building stuff and putting smiles on people's faces. I want to change people's lives. Like that's my motivation. And my insecurity, I still have a lot of insecurities today. I probably even more insecure now. Um and I would say I don't know if it's a flaw, but I would say it's a driver. It's like I'm never comfortable. I'm never
Let's talk about it. What are you dealing with? I want to get into all of your motivations, but I like the idea of talking about the dark side for a second because I don't think very often people talk about the dark side. of people's motivations. I had this whole thing yesterday. I did a whole like real story thing. You and I were talking a little bit
Yeah.
about it, where
Yeah.
I was just pissed. Maybe I don't know if it was yesterday morning. Yeah,
Yeah, I saw
yesterday
that. I
morning.
saw that. I could really relate to it.
I
I
was
could
just
really
so pissed about just for no reason, or not for no
yeah,
reason, but for just a bunch of different reasons, right?
yeah,
And so I want to talk about yours though, not mine,
yeah,
which is so what do you feel like you're either still afraid of, still insecure about, and how do you use that to motivate you instead of using it to stop you from achieving success?
yeah. Um, well, one is, like, this could all come crashing down tomorrow. Like,
Mhm.
there in any company, there is a possibility of that, and then I would be
Right.
seen as this huge, massive failure.
Yeah.
So that's, like, one of my insecurities is, like, I will do everything in my power to for that not to happen. Um, and, I just wanna repeat this quote real quick, but it's not that we do our best, but what is required. I don't know if that's the exact quote, but, like, sometimes our best is not really what the market wants. The market wants what's required, and sometimes our best is not the best. It's not the best for the market. Our best in our heads is just the best in our heads, but it's not what's required. What's required is what is required. It's not what, you know, how we try like, how hard we try. It's just, if I have to do this amount to serve the market, then I have to do this amount. It's not that I worked really hard and I feel like that's done. It's I have to work until it's done, not until I feel done, or like I feel like, okay, I've done my best. Um, I don't know if that I explained that well, but
No, you did.
um, I guess it's like, and also like I'll see stories of like what really hits me is like when I see younger people, like I saw this, and this guy, like it really drives me. Um, I'll see a 16-year-old that's making like half a million a month, and then like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
And now I'll click and I'll be like, what does he do? I and then I'll start looking, like, this is where my insecurity comes in, and I'll start looking for, like, holes in them, so I'll be like, "Oh, is your health right? No, they're a fat ass," or like, "Oh, they're like a stick," or whatever, and, I'll, like, find all these holes about 'em. I was like, "Okay, well, your relationships are not in place, you don't have a good relationship with your family, so you've invested all your I guess, imagine like a big bucket of water, and then you just, like, filled it in just 1 bucket and not, like, equally out into 3." So I feel like I started looking for these holes, and I started like, "Okay, well, you may make more money than me, but you don't have the relationship you have with your family. You don't have the relationship you have with your friends. You don't have good fitness. You don't have good health." So I'm like, "Okay, well, does that really make you better? I don't know. Is an extra $100,000, like, is that worth, um, the cost of friendships and family? I don't know. I don't think so." Like, to me, but then, like, it just triggers me. I'm like, "I'm not doing enough, and I have to get better." Because there's a 16-year-old out there making more money than me.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? There's a
Yeah,
balance. I
yeah,
think the right way to say it is there needs to be a balance between positivity and negativity. In my story yesterday, I started at all negative. I was like, "This is fucking sucks. I'm getting mad at my employees." Blah 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 blah. Then I ended it with, "Then I ate a fucking sandwich. I ate some goddamn hummus and cheese, and it was so goddamn good.
That
And
sounds
then I
great.
realized I was just hungry. And then I got the fuck over myself because
Yeah,
I'm gonna die and we're all gonna die. And you're
yeah,
not that special. So just keep moving on, right? So it is using those 16-year-olds that you're seeing to motivate you at like to be like, okay, I need to do better. There are even
yeah,
people younger than me at 18 making more money than me. I need to become even better. How am I going to do it? Right? And that's what you're talking about with the negative motivation that's
yeah,
pushing you forward of like, which is crazy. That's nutty for me to think that an 18-year-old who's I don't know how much you're making a month. I don't know if you're willing to share, but like even like an 18-year-old who is making at least like I know that AstroBlaster at least has got to be making 100K a month, probably more, like 200, 300, 400. I have
Yeah.
no idea your guys' numbers, but like an insane amount, right? I've seen your watch. You got like a 50K watch. So
Yeah, I
like
don't have it on
making a fuck ton
today,
of
but
money, making a fuck ton of money,
yeah,
thinks he's behind. The fact that you think you're behind is crazy for me as a 28-year-old. So I've got a
yeah,
decade on you, right?
yeah,
I feel somewhat behind, but and really all it comes down to is who are you comparing yourself against?
yeah,
You happen to be comparing yourself against those TikTokers. Who I compare myself to is Jamil and Pace, so I don't feel as bad because I still
yeah,
have time on them, right? Like
yeah,
my goal is, am I going to be where Pace is going to be when I'm his age, right?
yeah.
That's the real question for me. So
I
it
feel
depends
like
on who you compare yourself to.
it's a controversial topic. It's like, don't compare yourself to other people. Um, for me, that's been my thing all my life, was comparing myself to other people. Um, and maybe that's not the
What
most
do you
positive.
think? Do you think it's good or do you think it's bad?
I think it's just how we look at it. I don't think it's bad. Like, as long if it pushes me in a positive direction, then I think it's okay. But the people who like beat themselves up over it, but don't do anything about it, that's wrong. I think that's like entirely wrong. Is to like be like, okay, this guy's making so much more than me. I suck. I am the worst person in the world. I'm just gonna keep being the sucky person. However, me, I look at that, I'm like, that's fucked up. I need to get better. And like that, and that end of story. I continue to work harder.
It's how you
So
use it.
I think it's just perspective. Like
100%.
it could be negative or positive.
I love it. So do you consciously do that? Like if you find yourself comparing yourself to somebody else, are you like, okay, I'm pissed. This is naturally making me angry watching this 16-year-old 500K. I'm judging him on whatever health or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you consciously be like, now I'm going to use this negativity to drive me? Is that a conscious
Yeah,
thing or
I'll
a
be like,
subconscious thing?
it's a conscious thing, like entirely. If I saw someone in person that I was 16 years old, and I was doing 500,000 a month, I'd first meet him and like understand the person, and then I'd start dissecting the person, in my mind, like these are all the holes and shit, and then I'd go back to working even harder. Like I would go into this space of like I should not be doing anything else but working, and I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's fucked up, maybe it's not, but, I am a
It depends
very
how you
negative
use
person.
it. I
Yeah,
feel like it depends how you use it. If you have a gun and you murder people, you're a fucked up human being. If you have a gun and protect people, you're a good human being. It depends on how you use anything. It's a
100%.
tool.
Yeah,
That's what it is, right?
yeah.
So talk about let's go into the light a little bit too though. What's your
Okay.
positive motivations? Like what motivates you that you would is the more uplifting shit that we're used to hearing from most people,
Uh,
most gurus and stuff like that.
my parents, like,
Mhm.
my mom and dad have taught me really important lessons in my life, and I haven't I I want to, I guess, give as much back to them as possible. And if I am gonna give back to them, I want to give, like, I'm not just gonna give a little. I'm just gonna like full send. I pay off all their debt. I move them somewhere really nice. I build them a great big house, and I do all this, like, and like I'll get a manager for all the restaurants. I'll renovate them all and like do all those things. Like I have a plan for all this stuff, and that's my positive motivator. Is like I want to make sure my mom never works a day in her life again, and my dad, I don't know, that he lives, because like he wants to work all the time. I can't get him to not work. I can't just, like, he doesn't want to go on vacation all the time. So I'm like, okay, well, how do I how do I show him like I'm the best son ever? What I'll do is like, I don't know, I'll get him an executive assistant or a runner or an administrative assistant, and like so that assistant does everything for him and like helps do stuff around, or just make his work life easier. Um, that's like I guess that's his love language, is is for someone to come in and be like, here, I can help you make more money. I think that's his love language. But my mom, on the other hand, is like she hates to work. So I mean, she's been working since I was in the womb. Like she was doing deliveries, and she was actually in the kitchen cooking meals for customers when I was still in the womb. So she's been working for a long time, and I just don't want her to work a day in her life again. Like that's
Have
like
you quantified it yet? Do you know like how much money you need like to you personally before you're able to do all of that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would say definitely over like $1 million. Um,
It's a good thing to quantify. I have a similar goal to you, right? Like my parents aren't in much debt. I don't even know if it's worth buying my dad's a house, but I want to get them 10K a month for the rest of their lives each, right? That's my goal, right? Like I know that that would be what would make them feel good about they are retired, but like feel good about just
yeah,
like doing whatever the fuck they feel like, right? Um Something you can talk to them about too. You don't have to like keep it a secret necessarily. I don't know if you've talked to your parents about like what do you want out of life? Like if I am going to become so insanely rich, you won't even be able to believe how rich I am. The question is what do you want me to do for you? And they
I've
might be
asked my
modest
mom.
about it at first.
I've asked my mom, and it was like she just doesn't want to work. Um, like she out there
What
store.
does that mean to her though?
She wants to cook all day, and she wants to walk and watch movies, and
Nice.
just do everything but work, pretty much. She doesn't like going on
Find out
vacation.
how
She doesn't.
much find out how much money that takes to for her in her head where she's like now I can do that. That'll just help. It'll help you when you have that quantified goal, I promise.
Okay, yeah. Um,
And then think about how you're gonna make it where it's like, okay, now that we have that goal, what am I gonna do to be able to get that goal? Obviously AstroBlaster, but am I gonna put it somewhere? Am I gonna do
yeah,
something else with it? This is just my advice to you because I'm on this journey with you, right? I'm on the journey of retiring my parents as well, right? So just something to think about. It's just a little
yeah.
unsolicited advice.
Actually, thank you. Because I've never really thought of it like really, really deeply like that. I've just kind of been like, well, I want to retire my parents. I want them to never work in the day in their life again, and I want to renovate all the restaurants, redo everything, get a manager for all of them, so they don't have to worry about a single thing. Um, franchise them, whatever, and then for them just to live this life. Um, and then like be like, I proved you wrong, and then I
Just say that at the end. Give them like a couple mil or something, and then you just say prove you wrong.
yeah,
Right?
just
Have fun.
actually internet money is actually real. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. That'd just be a good thing. Try to get a number on it. Okay. Freaking awesome, man. I love it. Um, let's go back to your story for a second. I think people want to know a little bit of the origin story of Astro Blaster since that's how you're mainly making the money now. So
mhm.
just real quick, because it is not easy to get Jamil's attention. It's not easy to um, get the attention of a multimillionaire like that and get them really interested in a business opportunity. How did that happen? What happened there?
Um, I okay, one, like, it was never, like, a goal to be like, "I want a partnership with Jamil and, like, do all these things." So, it was, like, never it was not my goal or whatever, so, like, it wasn't the intentions from the beginning. The intention from the beginning was, like, "Okay, how do I do deals in high school?" And then create the system, and then, so I got on I shared my wins in the community, like, the Astro flipping community. And,
Mhm.
people were like, "Yeah, he's young and doing deals, like, freaking crushing it. I don't know how he's doing it, but congratulations." So people were kinda like, "Okay, well, they're working their asses off doing less than me. I was doing more, but in school." So, a lot of people were curious, and then one guy ended up reaching out like, "Hey, you're crushing it and wanna see what you're doing." Um, he's like, "I just wanna check out how you do stuff, how you do outreach, how you do follow-up, how you like, how are you so streamlined?" And then, we get on the call, probably the top 3 most influential meetings of my life. I show him my system, at the time, system, quote, unquote, "system," and, he's like, "This is awesome, dude, like, this is the best thing I've ever seen." Um, so he's like he thought I was selling him for some reason, like, he thought I was trying to sell him the system. Um, I was just I don't know, but he thought I was selling it, and I was like,
The best sales is you're just presenting people with opportunities.
"Yeah, I
That's
agree.
why.
I 100% agree." Because when you just provide value, you just like end up selling regardless. So, and that's like a whole nother topic about sales. Is like salesmen aren't salesmen; they're more like therapists. So back on the topic, I sold. I was like, I thought the highest price I can think of, and it was $500. $500 one time, no monthly. It was just 500. There's no A2P wasn't existing at the time. I'm sure you're dealing with A2P, and I'm sure it's a friggin' pain in the butt. But it was life was a little easier back then. But it's like 500 is like Zell me 500, and then I'll let me create you a Go High Level account, and then let me see if I can import this snapshot in. And I didn't even know at the time. I didn't know what a snapshot was. And then I started researching. Okay, this is okay. This is SaaS mode. Okay, this is all this. Okay, I was a real estate guy trying to be a tech guy. I didn't know anything about all this stuff. I didn't even know Stripe. No, Stripe was, because all I used in my lifetime as a real estate wholesaler was just my ping account. There was no Stripe ever involved. So I learned a lot of new things about not to process money on Zelle or Cash App or Venmo, because that's what I did.
So wait a minute. I just want to make sure I've got this right. So you meet with this guy. This guy's like, I want your system. You're
Yeah.
like, okay, $500, I guess. He's like, done. How do I pay
Yeah.
you? You're like, I don't know. I guess I got a Venmo there, right?
Yeah,
And
pretty
then
much.
you Venmos you. You figure out how the hell to sell him this system. And you're like, oh, interesting.
This is cool. At
Okay,
the
I just
time, I
want to double
wasn't
check.
like, yeah, at the time, I was like, yeah, whatever. But at that point, really wasn't like the huge light bulb click. It was more of later on, when I was like, okay, well, if it provided value to that guy, let me just create this little thing. If it turns into something, it turns into something. But let's just start REI Reach. It was originally called REI Reach. And that was like the previous company before AstroBlaster. So I was like, whatever, I'll focus on wholesale, but this is gonna be like side income, second stream of income, whatever. Started that, and then I made a post in the Astro flipping community, and I was like, well, who wants to learn how I do this in high school and do these deals in high school, and then so I had a Google form as like the opt-in or whatever. So I had like, I think 130 people sign up for the form. And then I mean, it was so sloppy. Google form, and then on launch day, quote unquote launch day, I created a Zoom link. I had to use John Galan's Zoom link because I didn't have a Zoom account. So he started I was like,
Nice.
John, can you do me a quick
I
favor?
love it.
And then
Love it.
he you see, like, I could probably post a link in the YouTube, but he like starts off the call because it's on his account, and he makes me long story. But do the call, and like 50, 60 people show up. Do my thing. I'm like, hey, this is I talk about agent lists, I talk about the system, I talk about all that. And everyone was super amazed, and my prices now, or I guess back then, was $749, and a $49 subscription was my
Nice.
pricing. And so ended up selling like 28 people, 30 something people. Just pretty wild. Also, like, another thing on, I guess, what like quote unquote webinars, or like group call sales. If you do, let's say you have one webinar with 100 people, that's technically 100 one-on-one calls. Even though the conversion rate may be lower, it's much worth your time, because 100 one-on-one sales calls will take maybe like a week or two.
It'll take a long time.
It's like one. I could do a 1 to 100, 1 to 1,000. One time we
Yeah.
did base. It was
No,
1
I
to
get it.
5,000. So if you're selling SaaS, if you're watching this and you have a SaaS company, I really, really recommend, if your product is between 1,000 and like really borderline like 3,000, that's when you can kind of do webinars. Low ticket, you can do like VSLs. But with webinars, you can sell something like that. in that type of range, and you do
So
like
how does Jamil learn about AstroBlaster?
um I guess I sidetracked there. But people started using it, the system, and people started having a bunch of success with it. People started doing deals. Um and people started sharing their win. And then people showed up to Jamil's calls and was like, "Hey, I." Jamil was like, "How'd you do it? Like, what'd you do?" And then they're like, "Yeah, I bought Andy's system thingy, and like I was at work and it was doing outreach for me or doing follow up for me." And Jamil's like, "Whatever, that's cool, whatever." Like Andy's, I know of Andy, but he's 16-year-old, like who, it's cool, whatever. It's a little project. This is just what I'm thinking at the time of like what he's thinking. And it didn't really catch fire until I think his close friend Marlon Savage. She's a literally a savage. And she, I guess, was partners on with the system. And she was like, if you don't fly to Houston right now and shake this kid's hand and start a partnership with him, you are out of your mind because what he has is out of this world. So Jimmy was like, okay, fine. I'll see. His assistant at the time, Emily, reaches out to me. And when someone like Jamil reaches out to you for a one-on-one meeting, it's kind of scary,
Intimidating. Yeah.
very intimidating, especially if you're like 17. It's like, what is happening? But I thought I actually thought it was like a call to get kicked out of the community because I was selling a system. I was actually really worried. Actually, that was what was going to happen because I actually don't know if I'm allowed to discuss this, but New Reach, which manages the community, they were like,
Not happy.
this is considered, I guess, soliciting or like this is
Yeah.
promoting another
Selling
business.
outside of it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, this is another brand. So they had plans to shut me down, like already. But Jamil was like, hold on. Like, let me check this out. Let me like see it. And then if it's not good, then you can delete him. Um, I ended up saying like, hey, this really works. I have people that use it. This is the system. It's actually really awesome, and it actually works. And this is how I built it. And I guess it was just the authenticity part. Like he saw me as like not someone who came off as like I just want money from you. I came off as like, hey, this if you don't like it, if you do like it, cool. If you don't like it, cool. This is just what I do. This is how it works. If I have to stop selling it, cool. I'll just continue wholesaling. So I think he saw my intentions and was like, okay, well, he is I guess a smart kid. He has something that's valuable, and I think there's a lot of opportunity there. So and people love him. Like people love it and the person behind it. He's like, okay, well, there's a founder that is,
It's a
he's
great story.
yeah. So it's like let me start a partnership with a 17-year-old. And I guess he does it, and then it was the best decision I ever made in
So
my
hold
life.
on, let's go. Let's pause here for a second because I'm curious. So he hears about it from other people. He sees it's doing good. You show it to him. Do you feel like it was just the fact that you were just like, yeah, like this is just what it is. Like I think it's a great product. What do you feel like he saw in you that he was willing to partner with you? Right? There are many ways that you can do stuff. He
Yeah.
could have bought it from you. He probably could have offered you, I don't know, maybe he could have offered you $500,000 and you would have been like, yeah, I'll fucking take that, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's a difference between he could have bought you out, he didn't have to partner with you. He could have shut you down, started it himself, whatever, right? This is Jamil. He's worth probably tens of millions of dollars. Have you thought about like what made him rather partner with you than do any of the other routes?
I don't want to say anything too crazy, but
This is
like
where
in
you
the
get
business,
to hype yourself up.
in the business, I am an operator. He's more of a um oversee visionary type of thing, but I pretty much operate the whole thing, the whole show. So I think he kind of saw me as an operator. I was like, well, I think he'd be a really good operator if we did start a partnership. Um, I think it's fair. He knows the opportunity. He'll take it. Um, I think I honestly don't know the true reason why. I probably should ask that one day.
Also, something to ask him.
Probably should like why did you partner with me? And then maybe he'll give me a good answer.
You'll get a
But
cool answer.
I actually don't know the reason. It's just my guess is like maybe he saw the true value and was like, um, or like because like you have like $1 million companies approaching him for sure, like for sure. So like what's the difference? Like
I'll tell
why
you the
don't we just
difference. I'll
go
tell
on
you
the
what I'm 95% sure he's going to say. A, you're his student, so you came from his whole program. B, your story is sick. The story of a 16-year-old spending his mom's money, willing to take a risk, gamble it all on wholesaling, is in high school, is smart enough to be like, no, okay, well, I have high school. I've got to do wholesaling, though. How am I going to do it? Figures out a system where he's still getting deals, even though he's spending 8 hours a day at high school. It is an insanely cool story, an insanely cool product, right? Like the system you made is incredible. And mixing those two together, it's like, okay, we've got something here that can make millions upon millions of dollars. It was an opportunity that was insanely worth his time. He
yeah
saw that in you.
yeah
I'll just
um
let you know that it's going to be
yeah
something like that.
yeah that's
So
probably
I'm hyping you up.
yeah
I'm here to
that's
hype you up on this.
I was probably to answer uh I don't know. Jamil's freaking cool dude. And just being able to just like talk to him as a friend is super cool.
So real quick, since we're getting to the end of the podcast, and I don't want to take up too much of your time, what is the future of AstroBlaster? What's the future for you? Where are you guys trying to go? Like, where's AstroBlaster going, and where are you going? Is it just stick with AstroBlaster for now, or is there anything else? Like, what are your goals for 2024?
So this year is actually gonna be pretty good. I have a operator on the wholesale company now. So we're getting that up and going again. But I don't want
Oh,
it
you're
to take.
starting wholesaling again.
Yeah, so I have an operator on it, so they're gonna actually build from top
Nice.
down. I actually really like building from top down, because then
Better
they
way to
get
do it.
hired, train, and do all that stuff. But wholesale company is getting back up, but that's like 5% of my focus. Like 95% of my focus is gonna be AstroBlaster. And the next really, really big thing, and this is probably I'm really hyping this up, but like this thing I've put over 100 man hours in this project, and after learning from so many real estate professionals and using so many softwares and knowing what's out there right now, I can really firmly believe that what I'm creating now might be better than what I think is for sure better than what I created before, if
Well,
not
what are you
more.
creating? Can you tell us what you're creating?
Yeah,
What are you
so
making?
an automated offer system. So people from AstroBlaster would get a bunch of leads coming in, but there was no really way to. The missing piece was to actually make offers on them. Yeah, we get a bunch of pocket listings, and you can get a ton of deals from pocket listings, like 100%. But MLS was a huge opportunity too. So how can we stick in agent outreach, but also have MLS? I don't know why I just did that, but uh, this system would allow pretty much someone to, if they wanted to, send out like 50, 60 plus offers in a minute. Like that's the amount output that it can do.
Nice.
Um, which
And
is
what's
pretty
your
great.
guys' revenue target? What's your guys' revenue target for 2024? Have you talked
We
with
we
Jamil about like, all right, how much money we want to be making?
we want to do 6 million this year.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah, we want to do
wow.
6 million.
How many
For
subscribers is that?
that's like it's like
What is
3,000
that? 3,000?
because yeah, three about I mean you got because you got monthlies and then you got setups.
About
I'd
3,000.
say probably 4,000, 3,000, but 3,000 is kind of the target. Um, gotta set realistic goals, but the goal here isn't to like the money now is like whatever, it's like cool or whatever. But the main goal is to like scale and exit. Like we want to scale and exit in like the next 3 years. That's kind of
Nice.
the goal. Is for Jamil to detach from the face of the company and for me to detach from the back end of the company, and then that just sell it as a SaaS company.
Love it, bro.
So that's kind of the goal there. But this year,
Nice.
maybe next time we have this podcast, I'll be like, well, you remember we talked about that automated offer system? Well, it's actually really dope.
Well,
uh,
actually, I got an AI to create the entire fucking thing, plus, and then just tell me a bunch of other shit.
there's
It's gonna be good.
yeah, it's gonna be really good. The problem, there is stuff out there right now that is kind of like this. The problem is, I know some of them, like, they'll do like 50% offers, so they'll take the listing price divided by 50% and then just send out a blind offer like that. Sure, you can do that, but I don't think offer prices should ever be a uh, um, automated.
Blind
Like, I think that
offers.
should always be always should be done by a human, because it's not standardized. Like, a realtor will comp a property different. But even if you put a property in
Yeah,
front of 5 buyers, they're gonna comp it much differently.
yeah,
So offer prices should never be really, I guess, automated. But the actual creation, the sending, and the follow up will be. A follow up on offers, like,
for sure.
okay, we have right now. If an agent responds to an offer email and they say, hey, this offer doesn't work. Okay, well, the system's going to detect that they responded via email and they rejected the offer. And then it's going to reply via SMS and be like, I just got your email. I saw your message. I Let me see if I can bring up my offer. So it'll send an initial offer. If they reject the initial offer, then it's going to send a MAO in 3 hours. And then from there, it's just going to go into this huge ball thing. But there's like many, many,
Anywho,
many other things.
you've got a lot of cool
Yeah.
stuff going on. It is amazing. Real quick, talk to everybody who's watching this. Who is the ideal customer for AstroBlaster? Because I swear to God, you're going to sell at least one subscription from this podcast, 1 to 2 right now, right? Somebody is already asking, like, is AstroBlaster for direct to agent? It's mainly for direct to agent. But who is the ideal customer for AstroBlaster? Just real quick, and where do they go? What's the website's just www.astroblaster, right?
The AstroBlaster. It's really annoying, but it's
The Astroblaster.
theastroblaster.com.
Yeah. So
Um,
talk to me real quick about just who's the ideal person to buy this.
Someone that goes to high school and that's like 17. It's like
But
the ideal, the ideal
like,
avatar. But seriously though, anyone who has the pain of like uh this I hate following up with agents, or like I feel like my job takes so much time for me, and I feel like I still want to do real estate, but my job is limiting from doing that. I think this is for beginner wholesalers and for intermediate wholesalers. I would say very honestly, I don't think we're built for 10 plus teams. I think that requires very custom like solutions. Like there's
yeah, that's all
um,
another thing.
yeah, that's a whole nother can of worms. But we're probably from 1 to 5 deal range, like 1 to 5 deals a month range. I would say is kind of like the capacity that someone could operate at.
Guys, let me tell you, I am a competitor to Andy, but his system is incredible. It is like the only other competitor I consider worth my time with my business. It is awesome. You guys should all sign up for it. It is an amazing thing if you're doing agent outreach. And I 100% think everybody should check it out. D Money, go check it out. I think, isn't the pricing on there? What is it? Is it $1,000 sign up, right? And then like $100 a
So
month?
it's 997 up front for the setup
997.
costs, and then 97 after 30 days.
Yeah. So go sign up for it there. It is insanely good. It is insanely good. D Money, go message Andy Rong on Instagram. He'll give you literally all the info, right? Go buy it. It is insanely good. Andy, I've got one last question for you before I end this.
Yes, sir.
It's the last question I ended for everybody, which is if you could go back in time to yourself right when you were just starting wholesaling real estate, what would you do then, knowing everything that you know now?
I feel like that's a very tough question. Because like the people you ask that, their present self would kind of Be like, well, because like if you change just one thing, even like a conversation,
The whole
like you've
story
added a
changes.
conversation into your 16-year-old self, that could literally like very, very much change the trajectory of your life. Like if you like if you like look at a plane and it starts 2 degrees left, it won't end up in New York, it'll end up freaking in Maine or whatever is left or whatever. It would just end up somewhere completely different because it was just 2 degrees or even 1 degree off. So to answer your question, I don't think I'd change anything. I think
Love it.
is whatever life has given me, and then, um, if bad things come, then bad things come. If good things come, then good things come. Um, I won't
I
knock
love
on
it.
wood because fuck it, that's life.
Beautiful. All
So
right, my man. You got any last words for the people before I end this thing? Everybody follow him at official Andy Rong. He's creating some cool content. I've been watching it. I've been paying attention. He's starting to get into the content creation game, which is fun to
I'm trying
see.
to get into it. Trying to get good
It's
into it.
good stuff. It's good stuff. Follow him on Instagram. Buy AstroBlaster. What else do I? What else do you? What else do you want to say? Anything else you want to plug before I end this?
Um, if you are currently an AstroBlaster user, get excited for this quarter. Like, get really
I
excited.
love it. I love it. All right, guys. Just so you guys know, next week I'm bringing back Cashflow and Coffee. Luke has been getting real mad at me. He's on here right now. Luke's been getting real mad at me because I keep freaking pushing it off because I keep getting sick or it's Christmas or it's freaking New Year's. And
Love
so
this.
like I haven't been doing it. I'm doing it next week with Tyler. And the next week, Scorch the Fears, I have no idea when it's gonna happen. You guys are just gonna have to deal with it. I'm sorry. Next week, I am traveling all throughout California. I'm gonna be in San Francisco doing a meetup Saturday at 12. You guys can check out my Instagram if you guys want to meet me in person and Sam Singh and a bunch of other cool people. I'm gonna be in LA. I'm gonna be in San Diego. San Diego's the 9th. LA's the 11th. If you guys want addresses, all that stuff, DM me on Instagram. Just look at my Instagram. I've been posting about it like crazy, right? So next week's gonna be chaotic. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna have all that. It's gonna be good. Anthony, I'm sorry, bro. Like, there's 2 more people in San Francisco. Nobody wants to go to Sacramento. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. So that's where we're at. It's going to be great. Andy, you've been awesome. You've been killing it. I appreciate you as a guest. I appreciate you as a friend. We're out. Episode 105 of Scorch the Fears. Let's freaking go.